You're listening to Zap Night's Zap Chats, a monthly video game discussion. Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Zap Chats for, what month is it, Kaylie? April?
Yeah.
April 2022. I'm your host, Danny.
I'm your co-host, Kaylie.
Kaylie, what have you been playing lately?
Mostly just Pokemon Arceus.
Nice.
A lot of time dedicated to that.
I have also been playing Pokemon Arceus. Not as much dedicated time to that. I was gonna play... Okay, so I started playing a couple weeks ago. Or last week. Whatever. I started playing, I played a full week, my normal stream schedule. Then, I played Monday this week, and then, Tuesday rolled around, and I wasn't, feeling awesome to want to play. And then, today, today's Thursday, this podcast releases on Friday. I was going to play today, and I'm, again, not feeling it.
Yeah.
So, obviously I have to finish the game to be able to review it. So, we'll still finish the game, but it's one of those things, when I first started playing, it was a lot of fun, but I don't care anything about the story.
Aww.
Or,
how far have you gotten?
I just did... Oh no, I just got the bear.
Okay.
Ursa.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. So, I can ride him now. But again, the gameplay is fun. A lot of fun. But I find myself just wanting to catch a Bidoof, and that's it. And I'm really darn good at that. But the rest of the game, it's I don't know, I'm just not motivated to play it. I don't know what it is.
Oh, I'm sorry. I love this game, actually. I've put quite a bit of time into it so far.
I've really enjoyed the gameplay, but the hand-holding is excessive.
Yeah, I personally feel... I have beaten the main story. I've been doing, the extras and all that.
Sure.
But I feel like the game was definitely stronger the last half of it. It does. I think it gets a little more interesting the more you kind of go on and stuff, but it does kind of hold your hand quite a bit at the beginning for sure.
And it's funny how at this point in the Pokemon series, why are we still holding hands and talking to us like we've never heard of a Pokemon before? I understand if there is someone to have some sort of description or introduction to it, but this game is so straightforward that you don't need to be teleporting us back and forth. You don't need to be holding our hand during every single step of the way. Just let us be. Just let us do our thing.
I think part of the problem is that this it can be arguably geared towards kids.
I'm kind of tired of that excuse.
I know.
For the Pokemon games.
On the other hand, would you... I definitely think they should have a skippable option for some of these things, but I think that they really do need it there for the people who legitimately don't know how to play this game.
I am completely fine with, optional tutorial type stuff. I'm just really, really, really sick of the Pokemon franchise with these, forced, boring, hand-holding tutorials of the same thing. You literally, the past 10 Pokemon games that they've released, you could just cookie cutter the same garbage. It's the same stuff. It's just skinned differently. These are what Pokemon are. Here's the Pokeball. Here's how you use the Pokeball. Here's where you put the Pokemon. I know this. Let's just move on with the core of the game. So yeah, I was a little butthurt about all of that and the weirdness about, I don't know, the quest mode stuff is kind of weird. Side quest stuff is kind of weird. But overall, the gameplay so far has been really, really solid.
I definitely think a traditional Pokemon game would benefit this kind of gameplay.
Yeah.
It's different. But yeah.
It's like open world, kinda.
Yeah. Well, you haven't moved on. Like, there's quite a few different areas, and some of the areas get pretty big, like, really big.
Mm-hmm.
So I am curious to see how you feel about the game when you finished it finally. I still haven't finished. Like, there's still like a little bit of side quest stuff at the end that I've been working on. I've been working on that, but I've also been working on like finishing my Pokedex and trying to find shinies. But
yeah,
we'll see.
That's another part of me, especially with Pokemon games, is that all I want to do is complete the Pokedex and find all of them. And like the story stuff is all like side details to me. Like, just let me have an MMO style Pokemon game where I can just run off and complete the Pokedex. And if I want to do story, it's available, but I don't have to. I don't know. In some ways, I feel like the story is irrelevant to the gameplay for these games at this point. Like, I just want to get to the game. Like, I just want to play the game. Yeah. I felt that way with Pokemon Snap. I felt that way with Sword and Shield too. I mean, Sword and Shield was better, but it still was very handholdy, and I don't know.
I get it.
In any case, this isn't a review for Pokemon Legends Arceus, though we are playing that on Twitch, so if you guys are interested, you can check out our Twitch channel, it's twitch.tv/ZapNight. I play Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Right now it's 7 o'clock Central Time to 10 o'clock Central Time. So as long as I'm feeling up to playing, I should be there. And especially since I've missed a couple days now, I really got to crunch down and keep moving forward with this game the next couple weeks.
So is it really just that you didn't want to play the game? Is that why you didn't want to stream those days?
We had a new guy start at work, and so I've had a lot of sitting down and basically, a similar mindset of streaming. I'm just like narrating every single thing that I do at work so that he can pick up on it. So like my voice was kind of shot, especially after Tuesday night, because he started Monday, and Monday was like all orientation stuff. So then Tuesday he actually started. Yeah. And so Tuesday I spent like all day talking just like this, except all day. So my voice was just shot and I wasn't feeling like it. So then like today I was going to, but then we were talking about doing the podcast. So I'm like, well, maybe I just won't. And like, I wasn't super like eager to get into it. So I'm like, I just won't stream today. I'll do some other stuff and then we'll do the podcast and it'll be good. But yeah, so Monday I for sure will be picking it up and getting back into it and pushing forward to get this thing done.
Well, I do hope you like it a little bit more near the end, because I have to say I think this is kind of gearing up towards one of my favorite games.
That's cool, yeah. Like I said, the gameplay is super solid. Like I love just running around and catching the Pokemon, but part of me feels like the Pokemon are overpowered a little bit, but maybe it's just me like just catching everything and not really fighting anything. So
the more you use your Pokemon on like rocks and stuff, they'll also level up.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and so I've seen that.
Helps. Just go around and I like this game because it's one of those games that I can watch TV and play it at the same time. Like it's just kind of like low attention level if you're just going around like catching stuff.
Sure.
So yeah.
Go ahead.
Four shinies so far.
Nice.
Without actively I can't say I haven't actively tried, but I haven't been like looking up stuff on how to do it quite yet. But I did find I found a shiny Yanma. You don't want to know all the Pokemon, so I won't spoil it. I did find a Yanma, I just told you, and I did find a Staravia. So
nice.
Interesting in any case.
Yeah, I really want to find a Bidoof because like Bidoof is my Pokemon.
I know.
But like I don't know all of the tips and tricks to getting a shiny Pokemon in this game, but I feel like at this point I've caught like I dare say I've caught about 1,000, or not 1,000. I've caught about 100 Bidoofs, and like no shiny, no nothing. I don't know if I'm just not that far in the game or if I'm missing a piece of the puzzle here, but yeah, I'm a little upset that I haven't got a shiny Bidoof. I think once I get a shiny Bidoof, then I'll be like all for the game because then I finally have my Doof and I can move forward. But right now, I just have a little girl Bidoof and she's doing okay. But yeah,
Bidoofette.
Yeah, Miss Doof.
Yep.
So, outside of playing Pokemon Arceus, we did want to talk about Kingdom Hearts 4. They're doing this like big thing for Kingdom Hearts 20th anniversary, which I mean they've done for other games period series before, and like I guess maybe I'm just now realizing this, that like Kingdom Hearts, it's like a franchise at this point.
Yeah.
It's not just like Kingdom Hearts this series. It is like its own franchise, similar to like how they're doing with Pokemon. So like they keep coming out with like mobile games and spin-off titles, and like my brain just cannot comprehend why they keep making these with some sort of overall arcing story to it. Like I can't with that concept. Like I don't want to pick up Kingdom Hearts 4 without playing Kingdom Hearts 1 through 3, because I want to know everything of the storyline. And that's like a big turn off for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you.
So that said, though, the trailer for Kingdom Hearts 4 looks really, really cool.
Yeah. Sora wasn't wearing his big clown shoes anymore.
I know, but I saw his big old feet, so they're still in that room somewhere. Oh, I think they did try to show off some gameplay. I don't know if it was like official gameplay or just like gameplay video. But I mean, it looked good, and if they already have some gameplay behind it, that means that they're pretty far along in development, which is really cool. Really surprising that they're already pushing a Kingdom Hearts 4, considering they just released Kingdom Hearts 3. Like, I don't know, I guess it's been a few years, because Seth and Evan did the review for that, and that's been a while, but it doesn't feel like it's been that long.
I mean, considering how long we waited for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh, right, yeah, I know, everybody was, butthurt about that too, so... Yeah, no, I mean, it's awesome for all of you guys who really, really are interested in Kingdom Hearts. Absolutely. I mean, I felt that way with Final Fantasy VII, so, like, I get it. It's just, for me, there's a lot of reservation to playing the Kingdom Hearts series because it's just gotten out of control. I mean, there may be some people out there that are like, no, you can just play any one of the series, and it's just, it's its own story that interacts with bits and pieces of previous stories. But I still, like God of War is the same way. Like, it's... You don't have to play all the previous games, but, like, I want to, because I want to know all of
what's going on.
Exactly. Yeah. Where, like, Final Fantasy, there's very, very little ties to any of the other games or stories. Like, the only ties there are is, like, reoccurring character names. Like, maybe enemy styles. Like, yeah, there's Cactars in most of the games, there's Tomberries in most games, there's Chocobos in most of the games, but, like, it's not the same one. It's like Sid. It's not the same Sid in each one. It's just a character named Sid who has a similar background, but they're all different Sids. They all fit in their own world. You don't need to know Sid from Final Fantasy VII to understand Sid from 15. So, I don't know. It's a turnoff to me.
You can easily pick up Final Fantasy 25 because it's its own independent thing, as opposed to Kingdom Hearts. I don't know. They name their stuff all weird.
Yeah, Kingdom
You know what
Hearts.
I mean? You can't
Kingdom
just
Hearts
pick up
10.
any one, you know?
Kingdom Hearts 10, the mystery beneath the ocean waves, part 72 over 19. Like, what?
Absolutely.
And that game, if you don't play that game, you're not going to understand what happens in Kingdom Hearts 11 because you didn't play that game.
I mean,
with the secret ending.
The titles alone, though, like, is enough of a turn off for me, because it's like, how do I even know where to begin without looking it up? Because what on earth are those names?
Right? Yeah. Where do these games fit into the story? Like, do you play them in order that they were released? Do you play them in just like any order and they just kind of fit in the story somewhere? You know, it's funny because Metroid plays on a similar concept, but I feel like Metroid's not quite as... You see, the difference is Metroid isn't story driven. Yeah. Kingdom Hearts is story driven. So, like, for me to play a Metroid game, I feel a little more comfortable playing them in any order that I want, simply because the story doesn't... It's not revolved around that story. Yeah, it plays on concepts, but where Kingdom Hearts, like, it's story driven. It's an RPG. So, like, for you to play, you know, for the stories to interact with each other at all, I don't know, it just feels wrong. Yeah. It feels messed up. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there like, no, you don't have to worry about that. But I do. Like, I can't help it. It probably is just a stigma that I've grown up with now over the past 20 years since the first one came out, which is unbelievable, by the way. It's funny to me that, you know, they have these games that play off of each other and the story continues, but like you can still just pick up any of them. Like, I don't know, I can't wrap my brain around it.
Yeah, it's pretty confusing. I mean, for just someone who is not into it, it would be hard to just pick it up, knowing, you know, because the way I understand it is you can't just play 1, 2, 3 and then 4. You've got pieces and these other, and on top of the 4 being released, you've got the like phone app games they also have. Yeah,
there's a couple mobile games that they released with them too, that who knows if there's got to be some sort of story behind those too. It's just it's too much. It's too much for me to be able to just jump into it at Kingdom Hearts 4. Like, it doesn't matter how awesome it looks. It's just too much for me to be able to jump in mid-series.
With that in mind, like, I guess it must be nice being a Kingdom Hearts fan, because that's great fan service to just have so much catered to that series, because I would love for that for my favorite Final Fantasy, you know what I mean?
Sure, yeah, to just keep going with that story in that universe.
I suppose, though, we do have quite a few extra, like, Tactics Advance and Tactics Advance and
yeah, I mean, we have our spin-offs, but it's not the same story.
Yeah.
Where, like, Kingdom Hearts, if you were a dedicated fan since the beginning, like, you have all of the story and all of this lore to be able to play off of, and that's amazing. But, you know, from someone who, my perspective, yeah, I really did try to play Kingdom Hearts 1, and I hated the battle system. Oh, yeah. I tried playing Kingdom Hearts 1, like HD Remaster 1.721 or whatever the heck the name was. Also couldn't stand the battle system. So, like, I just can't. So I've given up.
I did play, when it first came out, I played the second one. And then I went back to try and play the first one, and I couldn't do it either. Like, it's a lot improved by the second one. But yeah, the first one is... I remember having problems even when I was playing the first one. Because I did actually beat the first one when I was, like, little. But, like, I think that was most of my problem, is that the battle system was just frustrating.
It's funny because when we started the podcast, Kingdom Hearts has kind of been on the list. just because it's one of those games that I've started multiple times and couldn't really get into, where like dedicating a podcast episode to it, dedicating the time to play it and finish it, like maybe I would gain a little bit more respect for the series and try to put forth some effort to play them. But like having this like nagging feeling in the back of my head for this game to start playing it feels just like gross. Like I don't even want to start just because of, the history that I've already built up with it.
I get that. Although I will say, watching the trailer for the 4th installation, I did kind of want to go back and play. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, a tough one.
We might put it on the list at some point. Again, I genuinely would like to play Kingdom Hearts 1. Not because it's this fantastic game, and it very well might be, but mainly just because it's one of those games that I've picked up several times and just have never beaten. And, I feel like if nothing else, I should do that for me to at least say, like 11, to at least say that we tried.
We sure tried on 11.
Oh, I know.
I wonder which one I would rather play more.
11 again or Kingdom Hearts? 11 again or the entirety of the Kingdom Hearts series? That's the question.
I think I would rather play 11.
I wonder which one would take more time.
Oh, man.
100%ing Final Fantasy 11 or beating all of the Kingdom Hearts series? I mean, at this rate, they're both about the same age.
That's true. I feel like I might enjoy myself just a tiny bit better in Kingdom Hearts, but just a tiny bit.
I think the thing that Kingdom Hearts would have going for it is that it's on all these different systems. So, like, 1 month we'd be playing on the PS2, then the next month we'd be playing on a DS, and the next month we'd be playing on the PS3, and then, be all over the place. I mean,
we're talking, like, 2 completely different kinds of games.
Oh, I know, absolutely.
So, I mean...
it's just funny to tease it just because they're about the same age with about the same amount of content.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's one way of looking at it. Like, it's just one continuous game instead of, individual games, though they absolutely
all I'm thinking about is me having to do the research on what I need to play first and what order.
Yeah.
I hate research.
Oh, man, you would have hated doing the Final Fantasy XI story.
Oh, I believe you.
Like... there is no like easy place to find the overall story for the Winder stuff that we did, to the point where like I was having to go through. There was like some dialogue information on one of the websites where they had like line for line the dialogue at every single side or every single quest line that you do. But there was some areas that it's like the dialogue was different depending on how you played, and they didn't have all the dialogue, they just had some of the dialogues. Then I had to go back into our streams and hunt down all of the dialogue, really just so that I can summarize the story in some manner to be able to figure out exactly how it all plays out. And I mean, from what I've heard, we've actually gotten feedback on this game, by the way, on Final Fantasy XI.
Wow.
And so far, the people have mostly said that we did a pretty good job on the story. And one person was telling me in particular, just saying that after listening to the podcast, if they had any, like, any curiosity on what the game was like, or what the game is like, that that podcast episode just, like, cleared all of that, like, murky information that's out there,
they threw it away.
They threw away the idea of wanting to play it. No, it's really just that was the goal when we did, really, with a lot of these podcast episodes, to be honest, is just that, like, if you're interested in the game, one, we can kind of share that interest and talk about something that someone else is also really interested in, and they can get our perspective and our, deep thoughts and feelings behind the different aspects of the game, but also for like Final Fantasy 11 in particular, people who were interested in the Final Fantasy series like me, who had skipped Final Fantasy 11, could refer to that podcast episode and say, okay, that's what it's like to play as a new player, and is that going to be, that's the experience you're going to be looking at, and is that what you're interested in or not? And I'm sure, it just depends on your gameplay style.
Yeah.
That's really what it boiled down to. Like, it's not your gameplay style. To be fair, it's not really mine either, though I was able to bear it a little bit better than you were.
I'm so sorry. I'm a baby, I know. It's terrible.
I mean, you toughed it out though. Like you put solid gameplay hours into that game, so I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I did bail quite a bit that first 2 weeks.
That's all right.
Yeah. Well, that's good. It's good to know.
Yeah,
did something.
I can't say anyone has been like, no, you guys need to play more. So I guess you're off the hook on that one.
Thank goodness. Oh.
So what else, Kaylie?
I mean, not a whole lot. It's been kind of quiet. I mean, in general.
Yeah, agreed. I've been kind of staying off the radar, honestly. Like I've been streaming a lot. I think I want to change that a little bit to not stream quite as much. I know that we were talking about playing Valkyrie Profile next. I think I want to hold off on that for maybe a couple months. I just need a break from streaming. Though I really want to stream Valkyrie Profile. So maybe just play a couple super easy games for the next couple months and then pick up Valkyrie Profile and start playing that, and then maybe we can jump into Final Fantasy 12 or something later in the year.
Yeah.
I have got some stream burnout that I need to just chill for a couple months and not be constantly streaming. So yeah, I'll probably do that the next couple months. Me and Kaylie will sit down and decide exactly what games we're gonna end up playing, but I think both of us would probably enjoy a little bit of a break to that effect. Although, Kaylie, you've had plenty of time for breaking as far as that goes, because I was playing Horizon Forbidden West all last month, so you had some downtime. That's kind of nice.
It was, and like I said, I finished most of Pokemon's main story, but it has enabled me to actually take more time to finish up. Because, I would finish some of these games and be like, but I really want to finish the side stuff, where now I feel like I can actually do that now.
Yeah, I mean, Final Fantasy 11 is just waiting for you to do some of that side stuff, so whenever you're ready.
That's all right. Not quite the side stuff I was talking about.
No, I get what you mean, though. There are games that it's you finish and it's but I'm not quite done yet.
Yeah. I've been really wanting to play Final Fantasy IX again, which is funny because we just played it not that long ago, but right now people are really thinking that they're getting closer to possibly announcing a Final Fantasy IX remake. And it sounds so expensive for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those games you're just gonna have to fork out the cash and get the Super Mega Ultra Edition.
I think there's a small evils part of me inside that really wants to gatekeep this game, as terrible as it is. But I love this game so much, and I don't want to see it. I'm sure how you feel about the 7 remake. You don't want to see it manhandled and mistreated, and see it manhandled and mistreated.
No, don't do that to my beloved game.
I don't know, but they've been given 9 some unusual treatment. Usually they would have stuff for Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 8, Final Fantasy 10, Final Fantasy 13, Final Fantasy 15. I was where's 9?
Yeah. Yeah, it would be cool to see a remake or an upscale for Final Fantasy IX. I mean, at this point, they've already done the upscale, so the best thing they could possibly do is a remake. It's just really curious how they're gonna handle that. but we'll see.
There was I don't know what they were called, but they call it the Moguri mod. Is that what it's called? Where they actually went in and upscaled the gameplay. Like they actually tried to reimagine it, remade almost, and it did look beautiful. Like I think that this game potentially could really be remade to look beautiful, but with how Square sometimes
they can't just remake it. They're gonna completely change it, just like they did with 7. Like, they can't just do a remake. They have to do this, like, reconstruction.
Sucks. Well, I think, in terms of Final Fantasy IX, it could use a little bit of more in-depth explanation in certain areas. Like, especially when it comes down to, like, what actually happened with the planets merging and stuff. But I mean, I don't know. Like, and that too, they don't explain, like, Fratelli's timeline and his story. They don't ever explain whatever happened to his memory and what happens after the game. Like, there's really he's like this important character, kind of, and they never explain it.
Right, yeah. I mean, we went over that in detail during the podcast episode, but yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of potential for them to actually possibly make this tie together. It's just, it's delicate stuff.
Right. Well, I mean, same goes for 7. I mean, with them remaking 7, and then they're adding all this, like, weird stuff to, like, throw everyone off, and I just don't like it. Like,
yeah.
I understand where they're going, and I understand why they're doing some of the weird stuff that they're doing, but
I don't like it.
Yeah, just gosh.
It didn't have to be this way.
It was fine the way it was. Why does it have to be changed? That said, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, their voice acting is phenomenal. Absolutely amazing. So if they can still, if they can carry that concept and the way that they're matching voice actors, if they can carry that on to Final Fantasy IX and find solid voice actors for these characters, that's going to be key. Because, like, I just can't even fathom what Zidane would sound like. In my head, he sounds like a little kid. So, like, I have no idea what he would actually sound like.
He has voice acting in Dissidia.
Oh, does he? Oh, yeah, I suppose he does, yeah. Just like Cloud did. Was that Cloud's first? No, Cloud had the other stuff, too.
I think that the English voice actor for Zidane in Dissidia was good. I think the Japanese one, he sounded way too much like a little kid, which, to be fair, he was a little kid in the game. But, I don't know. He was a little kid, but, like, they have him placed, I think, at, like, 16, but I feel like it's a little, like...
Okay, so in my mind, Zidane, his voice is Sonic. It's Sonic.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like, kind of a punky kid, and like, I really hope that they don't use the Sonic voice, because that would just be messed up.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, and that does kind of seem like it would fit his character, is that punky kid.
Yeah, yep. Speaking of Sonic, we went to go see the Sonic 2 movie over the weekend, and that was really good.
Nice.
In my opinion, it's better than the first movie. However, there's like a couple spots during the second movie that is just like it just is misplaced. Like, it should have been cut out. So I don't know why it's there, and legitimately I was bored. So like we went with your kid and Shannon's kids, or Shannon's kid. We had 2 kids with us, and like they enjoyed it for the most part, but during those scenes that were like weirdly slow and like didn't have anything to do with Sonic, they were like bored. Like at one point I think Joshua looked at me and was like, "I'm ready to go." I'm like, "Sir, no." But yeah, I strongly suggest watching the second Sonic movie, especially if you've seen the first one. If you liked the first one, the second one is genuinely better.
Oh, that's good. I'm excited.
The introduction to Knuckles is really, really cool. Knuckles and Tails.
Is he usually buff?
No, he looks like the traditional Knuckles.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, he like traditional Knuckles is like buff, but like that one cartoon that has been out where he's like got a weirdly huge torso. No, it's not that.
Okay,
like
cool.
He looks like traditional Knuckles.
Oh,
they stayed faithful to the original.
You know, you took my kid with Jasper to, or Shannon's kid to the movie, and he got that the Knuckles plushie. Later that day. He has been carrying that thing around all this week.
Oh, that's good to know.
And I actually had both of them over yesterday, and they were playing Sonic, I guess, for lack of better words.
Yeah, like imaginary.
Did he like lose like a hair strand or something in the movie?
Knuckles?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, well, the kids were playing with this random like glow stick that was like an old pink glow stick, and they were like, "This is Knuckles' hair. It will give me superpowers." I thought maybe that was part of the movie.
No, it's not.
Kids are funny. Well, that's good. That makes me excited because I did like the first movie.
Yeah, definitely go see it. It's not a big deal if you don't see it in the theaters. Like some movies are like you have to see this in the theaters for it to be cool. Where this movie not so much, but it did give me the feels when we were sitting in the theater with all those kids and they're all like, applauding and high-fiving at the end. And it's like, oh, yes, they all love this too, just like me. Like my little inner kid was doing the same thing. Like, I love Sonic.
Aw, that's nice.
Yeah, no, it's good.
That's special.
Good stuff.
So yeah.
Well, yeah, I can't think of anything else to chit-chat about. You got anything, Kaylie? Oh,
that's pretty much it. It's been quiet. So.
All right. Well, guys, thank you all so much for listening to this episode of Zap Chats. If you want to hear more episodes of Zap Chats, you can listen to our other podcast episodes. You can go to ZapNight.com where you can see all of our previous podcast episodes along with all of the Zap Chats episodes as well. We do like to just rattle on about whatever the heck we're talking about or whatever we're playing at the time. You get a little bit of a sneak peek of the next podcast episode as well. So like you kind of already get a hint of where I'm going with Pokemon Arceus, though we're only halfway through, so there could be a lot more to that. Yeah. So absolutely stay tuned for Pokemon Arceus. That'll come out on May 1st. So, we'll see you guys then, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.